everyone, my name is Raya. Welcome to my channel. My video is all about my citizenship interview last December 9, 2020. So I will walk you through the whole process of my interview. My appointment was in Fairfax County, Virginia. I arrived 15 minutes early of my appointment. The officer asked what time is my appointment. Then he let me inside the building. And then I go to the front desk. Then the receptionist asked my appointment letter. She said I just show it on the plexiglass. Then she told me to go to the waiting area. The officer will call your name when he is ready to interview you. After about 40 minutes of waiting, the officer called my name. The officer take me to her office to the second floor. The officer told me to remain standing to do the oath. After the oath, the officer asked my passport, my green card, and my state-issued ID. Then the officer said we start with the Civics Test. Number 1, what did the Emancipation Proclamation do? Free the slave. If both the president and vice president can no longer serve, who becomes the president? The Speaker of the House. What is the economic system in the United States? Market economy. What is the form of government in the United States? Democratic Republic. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What these words? We the people. What is the name of the Vice President now? Michael Pence. And here's my reading test. Who elects Congress? My writing test. The people elects Congress. And then the officer said, congratulations, you passed the civics reading and writing test. The officer told me, so we go over to your application. There are about 50 questions and I need to ask all of this. I will be quick, but if you don't understand the question, I will be happy to explain it to you.
Here are the questions that you will be asked. What is your current legal name? Ria Sims. Have you used any other names since birth? No. Would you like to legally change your name? No. Can you verify your contact number for me, please? What is your current mailing address? What is your date of birth? What is your country of birth? Philippines. What is your country of citizenship or nationality? Philippines. On what date did you become a lawful permanent resident? What is your A number? What is your U.S. Social Security number? What is your gender? What is your ethnicity? What is your race? What is your height? What is your weight? What is the color of your eyes? What is the color of your hair? Where do you live now? When did you move here? What is the name of your employer? How long you work for them? About 5 years. The officer said, give me a minute, I will put address on your unemployment date. Have you ever served in the U.S. Armed Forces? Are you currently a member of the U.S. Armed Forces? Are you a male who lives in the United States at any time between your 18th and 26th birthday? Have you taken a trip outside of the United States in the last 5 years? Yes. The officer said, give me a minute, I will compare the date of your trips on your form and the date in the system. Sure, officer. Do you have a physical or developmental disability or mental impairment that prevents you from demonstrating your knowledge and understanding of the English language and or civics requirements for naturalization? No. Are you requesting an accommodation because of your disabilities and or impairments? No. What is your current marital status? What is your current spouse's legal name? On what date did you marry your current spouse? What is your current spouse's date of birth? Has your current spouse ever used a previous legal name? No. Has your current spouse used any other names since birth? No. What is your current spouse's current address? Is your current spouse a U.S. citizen? Yes. When did your current spouse become a U.S. citizen? At birth. Is your current spouse a current member of the U.S. Armed Forces? No. Where is your current spouse currently employed? Have you been married previously? No. Has your current spouse been married previously? No. Do you have any children? Yes. What is your child's current legal name? What is your child's relationship to you, biological child? What is your child's date of birth, November 11, 2010? What is your child's country of birth, Philippines? What is your child's current address, Philippines? What is your child's A number? My child does not have an A number. Were your parents married before your 18th birthday? Yes. Is your mother a U.S. citizen? No. Is your father a U.S. citizen? No. Have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen in writing or in any other way? No. Have you ever registered to vote in any federal, state, or local election in the United States? No. Have you ever voted in any federal, state, or local election in the United States? No. Do you now have, or did you ever have, a hereditary title or an order of nobility in any foreign country? No. Do you owe any overdue federal, state, or local taxes? No. Have you ever not filed a federal, state, or local tax return since you became a local permanent resident? No. Have you called yourself a non-U.S. resident on a federal, state, or local tax return since you became a local permanent resident? No. Have you ever been declared legally incompetent or been confined in a mental institution? No. Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with any organization, association, fund, foundation, party, club, society, or any similar group in the United States or in any other location in the world? No. Have you ever been a member of, or in any way associated, either directly or indirectly, with the Communist Party? No. Have you ever been a member of, or any way associated, either directly or indirectly, with any other totalitarian party? No. Have you ever been a member of, or in any way associated, either directly or indirectly, with a terrorist organization? No. Have you ever advocated, either directly or indirectly, the overthrow of any government by force or violence? No. Have you ever prosecuted, either directly or indirectly, any person because of race, religion, national origin, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion? No. Were you ever involved in any way with genocide? No. Were you ever involved in any way with torture? No. Were you ever involved in any way with killing or trying to kill someone? No. Were you ever involved in any way with badly hurting or trying to hurt a person on purpose? No. Were you ever involved in any way with forcing or trying to force someone to have any kind of sexual contact or relations? No. Were you ever involved in any way with not letting someone to practice his or her religion? No. Were you ever a member of, or did you ever serve in, help, or otherwise participate in a military unit? No. Were you ever a member of, or did you ever serve in, help, or otherwise participate in a paramilitary unit, a group of people who act like a military group but are not part of the official military? No. Were you ever a member of, or did you ever serve in, help, or otherwise participate in a police unit? No. Were you ever a member of, or did you ever serve in, help, or otherwise participate in a self-defense unit? No. Were you ever a member of, or did you ever serve in, help, or otherwise participate in a vigilante unit, a group of people who act like the police but are not a part of the official police? No. Have you ever a member of, or did you ever serve in, help, or otherwise participate in a rebel group? No. Were you ever a member of, or did you ever serve in, help, or otherwise participate in a guerrilla group, a group of people who use weapons against or otherwise physically attack the military, police, government, or other people? No. Were you ever a member of, or did you ever serve in, help, or otherwise participate in a militia, an army of people not part of the official military? No. Were you ever a member of, or did you ever serve in, help, or otherwise participate in an insurgent organization, a group that uses weapons and fights against a government? No. Were you ever a worker, volunteer, or soldier, or did you otherwise ever serve in a prison or jail? No. Were you ever a worker, volunteer, or soldier, or did you otherwise ever serve in a prison camp? No. Were you ever a worker, volunteer, or soldier, or did you otherwise ever serve in a detention facility, a place where people are forced to stay? No. Were you ever a worker, volunteer, or soldier, or did you otherwise ever serve in a labor camp, a place where people are forced to work? No. Were you ever a worker, volunteer, or soldier, or did you otherwise ever serve in any other place where people were forced to stay? No. Were you ever a part of any group, or did you ever help any group, unit, or organization that used a weapon against any person or threatened to do so? No. Did you ever steal, give, or provide weapons to any person, or help another person to steal, give, or provide weapons to any person? No. Did you ever receive, or any type of military, paramilitary, a group of people who act like a military group but are not a part of the official military, or weapons training? No. Did you ever recruit, enlist, conscript, or use any person under 15 years of age to serve in or help an armed force or group? No. Did you ever use any person under 15 years of age to do anything that help or support people in combat? No. Have you ever assist in committing or attempt to commit a crime or offense for which you were not arrested? No. Have you ever been arrested, cited, or detained by any law enforcement officer, including any immigration official or any official of the U.S. Armed Forces, for any reason? No. Have you ever been charged with committing, attempting to commit, or assisting in committing a crime or offense? No. Have you ever been convicted of a crime or offense? No. Have you ever been placed in alternative sentencing or rehabilitative program, for example, diversion, deferred prosecution, withheld adjudication, deferred adjudication? No. Have you ever received a suspended sentence, been placed on probation, or been paroled? No. Have you ever been in jail or prison? No. Have you ever been a habitual drunkard? No. Have you ever been a prostitute or procure anyone for prostitution? No. Have you ever sold or smuggled controlled substances, illegal drugs, or narcotics? No. Have you ever been married to more than one person at the same time? No. Have you ever married someone in order to obtain an immigration benefit? No. Have you ever helped someone to enter or tried to enter the United States illegally? No. Have you ever gambled illegally or received income from illegal gambling? No. Have you ever failed to support your dependents or to pay alimony? No. Have you ever made any misrepresentation to obtain any public benefits in the United States? No. Have you ever given any U.S. government official any information or documentation that was false, fraudulent, or misleading? No. Have you ever lied to any U.S. government officials to gain entry or admission into the United States or gain immigration benefits in the United States? No. Have you ever been removed, excluded, or deported from the United States? No. Have you ever been placed in removal, exclusion, rescission, or deportation proceedings? No. Are removal, exclusion, rescission, or deportation proceedings, including administratively closed proceedings, currently pending against you? No. Have you ever been court-martialed, administratively separated, or disciplined, or have you received an other than honorable discharge while in the U.S. Armed Forces? No. Have you ever been discharged from training or service in the U.S. Armed Forces because you were an alien? No. Have you ever left the United States to avoid being drafted in the U.S. Armed Forces? No. Have you ever applied for any kind of exemption from military service in the U.S. Armed Forces? No. Have you ever deserted from the U.S. Armed Forces? No. Do you support the Constitution and form of government of the United States? Yes. Do you understand the full oath of allegiance to the United States? Yes. Are you willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the United States? Yes. If the law requires it, are you willing to bear arms on behalf of the United States? Yes. If the law requires it, are you willing to perform non-combatant services in the U.S. Armed Forces? Yes. If the law requires it, are you willing to perform work of national importance under civilian direction? Yes. That's all. I will make another video for how I prepare for my citizenship interview. Thank you for watching my video. Please like, comment, and subscribe.